Today, our gospel reflection dwells on the two disciples going from Jerusalem to Emmaus. Their faces were downcast because their Lord Jesus was killed. But to their surprise, he is risen again. It is believed that many had seen him. They had seen the Lord. But these two disciples, one of them was Cleopas, they did not see Jesus. So with the downcast faces, they were returning back to the village. And Jesus joined them, their company. This story is told in Luke chapter 24, verses 13 to 35. They were talking and talking. Their hearts were burning as Jesus was explaining the scriptures to them. But they failed to recognize him. I want to share with you, why is this so? They could not recognize Jesus. Jesus was walking with them. There were two of them. And with Jesus there were three. Now the quorum is complete. Jesus had explained and promised that where two or three are gathered, he would be there in their midst. Matthew chapter 18:20. And so the quorum was complete. They were walking, talking about Jesus, and Jesus was already there in their midst. But they did not recognize him. Let us find out, why is this so? If we read Luke chapter 24, verse 28 and 29, we get the missing link. As they were talking and talking, and it was towards evening, and it was getting dark, Jesus said, I will continue my journey. So he signaled to go ahead. But the two disciples were concerned about his going alone. And so they invited him. They persuaded him, please stay with us. It is getting late. The day is over. Stay with us. We will dine together. We will shelter together. This is the point so vital in our Christian spiritual life. If you don't persuade Jesus to stay with you, Jesus may stay with you, go with you, live with you, but if you don't persuade him to speak more and stay longer, you will miss him altogether. And so Jesus agreed to stay on, and he began to be the chief celebrant of their meal. And they began to share. And at the breaking of the bread, they realized that it was Jesus himself. The risen Lord was with them, but they did not recognize him until they persuaded him to stay on and shared the meal in fellowship. Now, to add to this story, we must go back to the Genesis. Genesis chapter 32, verse 22 to 35, where we see Jacob wrestling with God. Jacob was wrestling with God, but he did not know. It was in the dark. And he had a very sad story. He had told his people to go ahead because he was going to reconcile with his brother Esau. He stayed along. God, as a stranger, came to him and fought with him. They were wrestling and wrestling. And it was becoming brighter towards morning. God said, now let me go. But the Lord, Jacob, did not allow him to go. I will not let you go unless you bless me. So here also, Jacob persuaded that stranger, you bless me first, then only I will let you go. Because you are very strong. I have not seen any man like this. And so the Lord blessed him, and then he came to know that he had seen the Lord. I have seen God face to face. Now, in the case of two disciples, the Lord Jesus was going away further because it was getting dark. Now, in the case of Jacob, God was leaving him because it was morning, it was getting brighter. And now, in our life situation, it may be in the morning, it may be in the evening, but you meet the Lord. In the harsh realities of our lives, in the suffering phases of our life, we see God every day. God comes to us every day. Unless we persuade Him, seek Him, and listen to Him, we'll miss the experience of God. We will miss the blessings of God. Today, as we celebrate Easter together with the disciples at Emmaus, let us invite Him to our homes. Let Him become the chief celebrant of our meals. Let Him break the bread with us. And when He distributes to us, when He gives us the share in our plate, then we will come to know that we are gathered in His name and He has become the chief celebrant of our life. And we will find Him that the risen Lord is in our heart and in our home. Let us not miss these opportunities.